On Empire's side, they have gotten the drops open. They're setting up for the attack, but no actual execution yet. No roamers to pick off. So it's going to come down to the explosive take into the site. Speaking of explosive, the nade out here, and Cantor Raketi's not fast enough. Dan gets the lead-off pick for Empire.
And Dan and Joystick will be the major win conditions for Empire. If you have a slow day from both of them, I don't know necessarily if Empire has that depth to compete with the fragging potential that G2 can bring to the table. Down goes Uno now as Joystick. He's going to try his best to get one onto the board, but just eluding him is that mirrored down and crawling away inside a freezer. Scyther is there to pounce if need be and collect that kill that his teammate had started. All the while, the remaining members of G2 are just patiently waiting for this push. There goes Kayak, the Clash in a bad position, and hey! Oh my goodness, a flawless round for Empire to start things off.
Fall back, indeed he will, and still no kills for either team, but Empire was in a similar position last round, and they made it work regardless. Exkyros on the mirror window, I don't know if it's going to be stopped this time, it will. 2 players inside a freezer, and this should be pretty easy for the defense to rebuff.
Ooh, there goes a Nitro sellout, but somebody's been playing Aim Labs. Scyther's grenade hits Uno, and that's the very first kill. To start things off with 40 seconds to go. G2 looking to be barricaded inside a freezer. That's where they're going to hold off. Citizens focus. It takes out Shepard. From the back, Dan, he goes unnoticed. He collapses on Kayak, and he can continue his assault as Kanto is now aware of this position. Good news for G2, you've got Virtue inside of Elbow. He pivots and is able to stop the flank that was coming in. So Empire's focus now is going to be laser-like. But it's over towards Freezer, and it's over towards Laundry. Nobody from Supply Room is moving a muscle. Case control in hand for Empire still, but no, surrendered at the last second as always is dropped through the hatch. Down goes Joystick as well, and it's Scyther in a 1v3. He's running out of time, 4 seconds left, and in the barbed wire, he will end. Canto Raketi the final kill for G2, and they pick up round number 2.
Canto in meeting, Virtue in basement. Actually, they're both going to meet up downstairs, as there's only a minute left for Empire to execute. They've got to make a play happen now, and they've actually got Joystick at the top of White Stairs. This could be huge.
Joystick is poised and ready to strike. His presence is now known as he fires into the wall, maybe giving himself away a little bit too prematurely. Canto Raketi now on the stairs below the bomb site, and guess what? He's good enough to collect Scyther, starting things off here for G2 on the right foot. 40 seconds to go. This seems to be the magic number for these teams, as now this is where the execute has taken place 3 rounds in a row. Dan and Joystick separated by what could be a country mile as Joystick just feeds Kayak full of bullets inside of games. Dan's movement inside of Attic given away, but he's able to get the kill onto Citizen before turning and looking towards dorms. Joystick 1-2. Virtue gets the single kill for G2 amidst the fray. A Nitro cell from below of Uno manages to claim always, but no, it's Uno actually perfectly upright. So now it's Shepard's turn to get that diffuser down. Virtue will have to do something. Oh, he picks off Joystick. Does he know where the plant is going down? He does not. Seemingly swinging around the corner, getting the drop onto Shepard. He doesn't know it. Now he does. A big 3-piece for Virtue, and he'll get that diffuser quite easily. G2 takes the lead.
Huge round for G2. Virtue as well as Uno really coming in strong. Trying their best to slow down the take. You want to deny upstairs for as long as possible because the vertical play from Empire will likely net them some kills through these holes in the floor and the ones that Empire will make later on with their breaching charges on always. It's been a good delay so far. Dan is going to be the anvil to the top floor hammer. As he plays by Showers Hall, he could definitely make some work happen on cutting off the cross, but Joystick on the entry is going to get the lead off. Now it's on Uno to get that re.
Citizen on the flank here is going to be particularly instrumental, especially since he's losing some of his teammates. Position given away. Can you catch the one on drone? No, turn around. You don't see him. Shepard is there. Citizen just a bit of a blinder on, and he can't determine where the last member of Empire closest to him is.
That on the early pick this time. So they need to make a recovery. It's on them to get the kill to bring them back into this round. And Joystick seems to have a play in mind while the top floor clear continues to push in.
Look at Joystick's position right now. He's got a clear line of sight all the way into the back of meeting if he wants it. Virtue's been downed, and we're still not quite at that fabled 40-second mark. Joystick flicks away, though, and manages to somehow evade 2 members of G2 who are both looking for him. And picks up a second. Powerful stuff from the Russian cyborg. We've come to expect this level of play from him. At this point, G2 find themselves in a spot they didn't want to be in. Trailing, but Kayak picks off Joystick. Beautiful play from the newest member of G2. The Yak strikes back. Scyther on White Stairs rather takes out Uno, and the advantage for Empire is returned, leaving Canto Raketi and Kayak to hold off the 2K members of G2. Shepard inside the site by the sandbags. He'll go for the plant. Canto Raketi down from above, so Kayak will have to retake. 3 kills. The grenade that was in the hands of Scyther will now be dropped, but Kayak's a 3 armor, and he knows how tough this is going to be. Does he have any intel? Yes, he does. Red Mark's going away, but Shepard is better. Kayak finished from above. And a second attempt at a bomb site that they just previously lost does not work out in G2's favor as Empire wins. He's still in that same position. The Maverick of Shepard is relocating. Could this be an E-box drop? As the C4 in hand from Kayak is anticipating somebody heading in that direction and will blow them skyward if they don't make their steps appropriately. Grenade in hand to slow down the Banshee. The sound will be given away, but his slow will not be. Smoke there as Shepard walks right in. Grenade's getting tossed out. Virtue survives 1. He survives 2, in fact. Do they know whether Elbow has been barricaded? That's the question. They drone him out very quickly, and he'll toss out another toxic canister. Scyther's the one that's positioned in Dan's spot as he's going to hit through the back. Kayak starts things off. He takes out Joystick, and it's an all-out brawl on the site. Virtue still holding Elbow, but nobody from Empire is there. They've swung around, and they're coming in through Electrical Box. Shepard in the doorway getting the plant down. Citizen will need to stop this. Off the plant he goes, swinging as best he can, but there's too many guns from Empire for him to task. The mirror comes on in, but Kayak gets the final kill and shuts it down. The first half is tied up 3-3, and we'll see what G2 can do on attack as Empire moves to defense. Play here for Intel. This is interesting because he didn't bother to take the entire barricade out. We'll let that clone recharge, but he could have got more. I think the game plan was to not give that position away, directly get information, and then move if need be, and that seems to be what G2 has done.
There's some more information being gathered, but they aren't going to spot Joystick, who's creeping up the freezer staircase. He's checked for, though, and Citizen is better. They'll even tell Joystick post-mortem just that. So with the leadoff pick here, G2 are in a great position to execute with the last 30 seconds.
They're at the mercy of the clock, though. You're absolutely right. That E-box hatch just gets popped. G2 ready to drop. Kayak is stranded over by Blue, but G2's guns are finding their mark. Dan answers back. Kanto Raketti on back stairs. Scyther will be the one looking in that direction. He's pushed off by a nade. Out goes a C4. Huge kill onto Uno, as Virtue's now down by the doorways as well. G2's mismanagement of the clock is burying them at this exact moment. Kanto Raketti not good enough in freezer. All 3 kills for Empire in G2's, or rather in Dan's hands. He's going to need to look for another as Kayak gets a pick, but he can't outrun the clock. For now, those shields don't just work for time delay, they also work for gadget delay. There's a Gon 6 in hand. They'll burn out the ADSs, and there goes the Banshee that's positioned by the dorm's doorway, rather the attic doorway, more specifically. It's going to give free passage on in. The sound that goes off is not really as important as the fact that you've now gotten rid of a device that will slow you on your entry. And of course, with how poorly G2 managed the clock on that previous round, getting rid of the Banshees is a very good step.
Still plenty of explosives here for the attack. And oh, nice peek from Joystick. Down goes Citizen. And that means the nade will not make it to bottom of big window. The opening pick goes to Empire, and they're going to keep adding to it. It's just Virtue and Kanto Raketti all of a sudden. And now they've got 30 seconds left. Virtue will get a pick onto Scyther, who puzzlingly tries to push into Trophy, but it's not going to work out as Joystick's there to double down. He gets his 3rd kill. And now he's looking for a 4th. Knowing Virtue is inside of Attic, he'll challenge and he'll just win. Joystick does not lose those. A 4K in the round for him. And Team Empire will take their first defense of the top 4.
Present, so you don't need to worry about Zophia's influence being even more integral for your execute, which is good news for G2, by the way. But at this point in time, I like where G2 is at just simply based on who is left and what they can accomplish. You've taken out Joystick. You've been able to cut through most of this utility. You've got 45 seconds left to be able to pull this off. This is better timing than we've seen out of G2 in the previous 2 rounds. So they'll knuckle down and get ready for this. But just as they are prepared to push in, Empire is ready to answer it back. They know that there's a default plant going off, and Kayak gets dropped by a great play from Always. His first kill, highly impactful so far. G2 will now need to scramble to get that case down yet again, as Citizen is perched up at the top of White Stairs, watching towards dorms. He's going to have to check for the Jaeger, but no, he pushes out, and he gets dropped by Scyther. What it was an advantage for G2 is now gone. Back to a 2v2, though. Kanto Raketti doing his best to try and give his team a lead. He'll get the diffuser down now. That leaves Uno Meister in a 1v2 to try and watch. Uno watching over Kanto quite well, sitting, waiting, both members from Empire from above, and they will fight through the hatch. There's lots of pings going on inside of the site. Everybody except for Uno has taken a serious beating at this point, and this will be a tense retake for Empire. 30 seconds left on the clock. Uno perched in a bit of a wrap position, watching the doorway. He hears the reload, waiting for it, capitalizing, swinging onto 1, but there's another in line of sight. He pulls out, and he gets it. 2 huge kills from Uno, and they'll shut the door on Empire, clutching that round.
Always to play deep in blue, which protects E-box and backstairs. That's massive barricade that just went up, and it's going to cause problems for G2 later on unless they go for a back take and open it up.
I don't know if G2 exactly has their planning mapped out as we are in 55 seconds. Final minute of this round. The magic number for these teams so far has been 40 seconds. When we hit that 40-second mark, that's when the shuffling towards the site begins. As you talked about that barricade, it's already paying dividends. The Citizen and Kayak have rotated towards bunker. They're waiting for the ADS to get burned out. Out goes one of the toxic canisters, so they'll either have to charge through it and take some damage or simply try to wait it out. Meanwhile, Always has now moved over to Harry Potter. He's sitting under the stairs. Citizen finished off by the SMG in hand for Shepard. If Team Empire prevail here, it's match point for them. Virtue dropping through E-Box, but he's immediately finished by Dan. A trade, though, and then a trade right back. Empire's the one coming out on top of all of these, leaving Kayak to die alone inside a bunker, and Empire to move to match point.
That just adds layers to the defense. It's an extra little bit of stuff that the attack has to clear out. It's not as powerful as it used to be because there's so much to clear out with. I mean, almost everyone on the attack has an explosive that could deal with the shield. So, yeah, it's definitely something they're ready for. And look at that. Speaking of explosives, Citizen with a very well-placed nade. Down goes your top frag, and oh, that might be just what they need to get into this round.
And that'll put us in a very crucial final round. Of course, these teams always need every single round when they match up against each other. Doesn't matter if it's in Raleigh, doesn't matter if it's here, doesn't even matter if it's in EUL. Just like that, by the way, the server entirely cleared out. Citizen doing his best to not lose. The man does not want to give up one bit. This is an upstairs hold with just Shepard and Scyther hanging on to what is essentially a very tattered defense. And Scyther manages to shrug off a bullet, as we also saw the same from Uno. Now Scyther looks towards yellow stairs, takes out the Ash of Kanto Raketti, but that's it. Kayak just walks in, and he adorns the walls with their blood. Bit gruesome imagery, but a bit of a gruesome round from Empire too. G2 will force a 12th round, as Empire still sit on match point. Show you that G2's comeback is not just because of their own ability, but their ability to shut down the hot hands from Empire. Maybe they're given a bit of a leg up by the fact that Empire themselves are finding it hard to close out in the clutch. That'll be a question for later. All the while, all these explosions happening in front of Always inside of security, not a single scratch on the paint at all. And if they don't think that they've droned him out, which right now G2 has absolutely zero intel on that room, if they swing in the wrong direction, then that's going to be a very easy pick or two for Always, given the way that G2 are stacked up here. In they come, the Ash looks the wrong way, Kanto Raketti goes down, Always good enough for two. Down goes Virtue as well, and he immediately moves over. Citizen now in the hunt. He'll look in one direction. Kayak might as well be on another planet with where he is. Citizen will need to win this one, and he nails it quite easily. But this is going to be tense. Final 25 seconds. Everything is on G2 right now to try and tie this up and send them into overtime. If not, then very easily Team Empire takes the W and moves on. But G2 stack up is by big window. Empire are ready for this. They're in that position. Dan is on the ground. The two members from Empire inside of dorms right now as Kayak hops on in. He gets dropped though, and the diffuser's down as well. Scyther's credited with that one. Uno will have to grab the diffuser as it's him versus the world in a 1v3. Empire looking to knock out G2. And amidst the smoke, Uno just sees his life ticking away with the clock ticking away. Empire takes the matchup.